Hey MVPs, Rico Knows here. I'm going to talk to you guys about the first fight on the prelims. It's Piera Rodriguez, 10-2, against Ketlen Souza, 15-5. Piera Rodriguez is a minus 225 favorite. Ketlen Souza, the underdog here. We'll start talking about Ketlen Souza first. The last time we saw Ketlen Souza in the cage, it was back in February, and this was the lock of all locks for me to take Angela Hill, if you guys remember this. This was the very first Rico Knows bet of the year where I put my name next to it and just said, guys, of the whole entire fight card, I'm most excited about this Angela Hill fight because I know Angela Hill is going to win by points. And I would probably send Kim to Virginia to make a 10-unit bet on this, that type of deal, right? So what happens? We win, Angela Hill knocks it out, and we're all screaming out, Rico knows, Rico knows, Rico knows. But the hindsight is, it was like, oh, this was a very close fight. Split decision all day. It was very scary. Ketlen Souza had that little dog in her. It was tough, right? She definitely won the second round, and in the third round, there were no takedowns from either fighter, and they were just out there scrapping, and it was like, well, who do you like? It's up to you, judges. You're picking the winner here because we didn't see the winner in the cage. We're not sure who won, and I'm just glad we got it, and I was like, yo, was it a robbery? Was it a robbery? We'll take the robbery. Other than that, she did have a really impressive win in September against Uregi. Massive underdog in that, but that was kind of a one-hit, like a one-punch lucky thing to land, and then she won the fight. Her issue is this. She's tough as hell. She's tough as nails. She's a bad little dude. She wants to go out there and scrap, and you can see it here, 8 knockouts. But when's the last time she had a knockout? It's down here in 2021, and all of her knockouts were on the regional scene. The minute she's gotten to these better fighters, she's not knocking anybody out. And I say better fighters because they're in the UFC, but Marnik Man's one of the worst fighters in the history of the UFC. And you went full decision with Marnik Man. So the problem with Ketlen Souza is she's a striker, not a traditional grappler by any means, and she also weighs 115 pounds. At 150 pounds, you don't have one-punch knockout power. That's not a thing. Right? You don't walk around and people are like, man, watch out for that guy. He weighs 115. He's going to lay it on you thick. That's just not real. So Ketlen Souza not having knockout power, but she does have that dog in her. She is tough enough to be out there. So I understand why some people would like her. Now, in this particular matchup, it's going to be an MMA thing, and we're going to talk about Piera Rodriguez here. Piera Rodriguez is very unlikable for me. I really don't like her. But you can see it here. She's 10-2. She doesn't lose as often. She doesn't allow herself to lose. And she carries herself with a certain swagger like her shit don't stink. Like, she's very confident. She just walk around like, yo, I'm going to beat you up. Why? Because every fight she's ever been in, she's always been in the dominant body position. Now, she doesn't know what to do from there. She's never subbed anyone, but she's a grappler. She's a wrestler. She's from Venezuela. She just goes out there, gets a takedown, and now she just kind of just wears on you a little bit and wins the round by points. But even her, with all these knockouts, when were they? There before the UFC. There's no knockouts here. So everybody's going to tell you, watch out, this fight, they're going to be banging, and they probably are. They're going to be swinging like crazy. But the minute Piera Rodriguez shoots her takedowns, and she's like Marab, she just shoots takedown after takedown after takedown, people are exhausted, and now you can't get knocked out. You also weigh 115. No one's knocking out at 115. So what we're really doing here is we're seeing two fighters who are going to go out there. Piera Rodriguez has a path to victory, getting takedowns and winning rounds. Ketlen Souza, she's tough, and she looks like she's throwing heat. She looks like she's banging, but nobody's falling over for it. Rodriguez is not going to fall over. This Rodriguez is actually kind of tough, too, in the fact that she swings. Now, if we look at her fights recently, let's talk about it. Her greatest win of all time is Sam Hughes, which is a tough win, but it was unanimous. Kay Hansen, not UFC caliber, nobody below that UFC caliber, so it's all there. Now, you lose to Jillian Robertson by submission. Everybody loses to Jillian Robertson by submission. And then the loss to Ariana Carlosi is actually a DQ from, I believe, she was in the mount throwing headbutts, if I remember correctly. And it was scary because that night I took Carlosi to win the fight, and we were losing horrifically. And then we were gifted a DQ because of the headbutts. So it was like, thank goodness we were going to miss because Rodriguez was going to be too big and mean about it. And then Knudsen gets beat. I took Knudsen too. I'm always taking whoever this girl's fighting. I'm taking the opposite. Number one, Vegas makes you pay for this chick. Vegas really believes in this chick, and I just don't see it. I'm even telling you her path to victory and why she's going to win. And I'm still sitting there going, I just don't believe it. I don't like her. I don't like it at all. And that's the perfect way to avoid a fight on the early prelim, right? That's the perfect way to save yourself some heartache. So I'll give it to you straight. Piera Rodriguez is a minus 230 favorite. I think the sports books have her at, minus 230 and a 176. So minus 230. I would leave it there, picking her, but you don't have to do that, man. You can go in there and go by points. And the by points is a minus 110 for Rodriguez. I believe Souza's points, Ketlen Souza's points are a minus 300. And that sounds like a hell of a deal to me. I'm telling you, it really does. Now, I'd imagine at some point Souza's going to be taken down and not be able to get back up. And if that's the case, she was able to get back up against Angela Hill, who's worlds better than these girls. Right? Angela Hill's just a high-class fighter, a main card fighter. These girls are early prelim fighters. And she was able to fend off Angela Hill and not even let Angela get a takedown in the third round. So it's frustrating. It's the early prelims. If you're talking to two girls and they're going to the judges, you're just flipping coins, bro. You're just taking a coin flip and taking a shot in the dark, and it's crazy. So we won't lose too much time, energy, and effort on this. Should be nowhere in any parlays, nothing like that. But there you go. Give me Rodriguez. I'm rocking with it, but and remember that by points is a value bet. It would only be right 34% of the time. Picking Piera Rodriguez, the money line, will be right 67% of the time. That is significantly different. The money line versus the by points. Just so you're aware, when I make things certain colors, that's what it means. So new MVPs, old MVPs, get in the habit of trusting the color scheme, not listening to me tell you how this is going to go down. Because you can, look, there's guys all over YouTube telling you, oh, this one's going to end by knockout. This one's going to end by submission. And then they just keep going. And nobody ever tracks what they said and how they say it. And no one checks how accurate they were and in the history of all their predictions. Whereas here, we keep track of anything that comes out of my mouth. We keep track of it. There's no way to hide it. And I'm telling you, anytime you sit down and start giving out methods, you're going to be in this ballpark right here. At best. Okay? So go the distance. I like it. The pay's there. I understand everybody thinks these girls are bangers. They're scrappers. This is not going to be a boring fight. But I digress. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Good luck, MVPs. Peace.